news here on Plus. I'm Michael Sandlin. Great to be with you again. Thank you for joining us on your Saturday evening. We'll get to all of our top stories in just a moment. But first, if you're tired of this dry spell, there's good news in store. Meteorologist John Birchfield joins us with more. John, I understand we got some rain on the way.
Yeah, Michael, we really do need the rain, but not necessarily the wind that's going to come along with it. There are going to be some thunder showers already moving in this evening, but the steadiest rain rolls in early Sunday morning. Rainfall up to about an inch is possible, and winds may gust to 45 miles an hour early in the day on Sunday. So here's where we stand on Doppler radar. Most of the action is north and west of us. There's a severe thunderstorm north of Detroit. That's not going to impact us. I'm watching some of these clusters of thunder showers between South Bend and Kalamazoo that are moving in the direction of that arrow. In fact, a few little pop-ups starting to creep closer to Williams and Hillsdale counties. There is also some activity near Indianapolis and Muncie. Nothing hazardous with that other than just some soaking rainfall and perhaps isolated lightning strikes. Here's a strong fall cold front draped just north and west of us, and that is going to bring us the gusty winds into your Sunday morning with gusts up to about 40 to 45 miles an hour possible. So I'd recommend this evening before bed, if you have any inflatable Halloween decorations, secure them or bring them inside so they don't end up in the neighbor's lawn with the gusty winds that are expected. I'm going to break down the timing and rainfall amounts coming up in my full forecast. Michael.
All right, John, we'll see you then. Crowds have gathered to take part in the No Kings protests around the nation today, with protesters gathering to protest what organizers call President Donald Trump's crackdowns on First Amendment rights. Organizers say more than 2,500 pro-democracy No Kings rallies were planned nationwide, from major cities to small towns.
Rather than doing one monarch's bidding, we have agreed to form a democracy, to work together, and to follow the laws that derive from it. No thrones, no crowns, no kings.
Members of the Trump administration have called the rallies anti-American, and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson has called the protests a Hate America rally. The No Kings organizers say the protests are peaceful. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said this weekend's events are, quote, what democracy looks like. Thousands of people took to the streets today as part of that No Kings protest, including right here in the Glass City. Reporter Faith Sahowski has the story out of West Toledo.
I'm seeing things in my nation that no one has ever seen before, and no one should.
William Albert served in the Vietnam War. He was one of thousands of people who lined Monroe Street in Toledo on Saturday as part of the No Kings protest. Albert says for him, the protest is about standing up for his rights.
I'm a veteran, but also an American citizen, and I'm seeing my Constitution being abridged in which way it can be.
Mary and Tom Fairley say they showed up to the protest to take action. The two say their history of protesting stretches back to the 1960s.
I wanted to get out and actually do something, and I wanted to see how many people were going to show up, frankly.
Trying to get a sense of hope.
Well, that too.
Hopefully people will go vote, because that's the problem, is that not enough people are showing up at the ballot box.
Protesters raised concerns about the current administration, including what they called the spread of false information, violations of the Constitution, and the stance on climate change.
Many people have been, their jobs have been terminated, especially with things like the EPA, wildlife and fisheries. There's all kinds of agencies and things that people have lost their jobs, which really doesn't make a lot of sense.
Others say they came to be an example for other generations.
I have 8 grandchildren. I want to be an example to them, first of all. I think the children are going to do things that will help our country.
While some say they joined the nationwide movement to spread hope and fight for what it means to be an American.
Americans still care about America.
We want to support freedom of speech. And too many people are saying that if you're out here talking, you're un-American, and it's the complete opposite.
We have the right to do this in America peacefully.
I'm encouraged by that, generations, and of course that's America. America is here. We're supposed to look diverse. We are diverse. That's what makes America.
Reporting in Toledo, Faith Sahowski, WTOL 11.
There were also protests in downtown Bowling Green and downtown Toledo. WTOL 11 reached out to the Lucas County Republican Party for a statement. They said, quote, the Democrats focus on opposing anything President Donald Trump has done. He has accomplished so much, including finding an agreement in the conflict between Israel and Palestine. You would think they would be grateful. We totally support him. He has found a way to pay the military despite the shutdown, which Democrats voted against, and he is trying to find solutions for other issues during the shutdown. End quote. Toledo police are investigating after a man was shot in central Toledo early this morning. The incident happened around 1:45 a.m. near Avondale Avenue and Ewing Street. Officers arrived on scene and found the man with at least one gunshot wound. He was then taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police told WTOL 11 they don't have any suspects in custody at this time. This is a developing story. We'll keep you updated on air and online as we continue to learn more. Last night, there was a balcony collapse in an apartment complex near the University of Cincinnati. It happened around 10 p.m. According to authorities, a total of 10 people were taken to the hospital. One of them has life-threatening injuries and had to be rushed into surgery. The balcony was on a third floor. This happened at an apartment complex that is not official UC student housing, but many students do live in the complex.
From what we're being told, it was a gathering. Many of these individuals were students. We don't have the detailed information of what was actually being celebrated. So unfortunately, this occurred. And so we wanted to make sure that we could gain normalcy to the complex and make sure that we treated the individuals that were involved in this incident.
The cause of the collapse is still under investigation. Terry Weimer, a longtime college basketball referee from North Baltimore, has passed away. He spent nearly 4 decades officiating Big Ten games and worked in 22 straight NCAA tournaments, including 5 Final Fours. After retiring, he led officiating efforts for the Big Ten and Mountain West conferences. Weimer also helped train and assign referees across several leagues, including the MAC. Before his officiating career, he played football and baseball at the University of Findlay. Weimer was 66. When finances get tight for families, things like kids' Halloween costumes may fall through the cracks. For one man in Texas, it's his life's mission to make and give away free Halloween costumes. CBS News' Karen Hua joins us with this story stitched from the heart.
Several times a week, Christoph Wagoner goes digging for treasure.
I'm trying to see if anything catches my attention.
Buried deep, he sometimes strikes gold.
It's usually either shiny, furry, or sparkly.
And he always comes away with a big haul.
7, 8, 9.
These may seem like random pieces of clothing from a Goodwill in Central Texas, but Wagoner has a vision.
I can cut that off, sew them up, make them shorter.
Soon, these will all be Halloween costumes.
It's like winning when you find 2 pieces that go together.
Back home in Austin, he washes, cuts, glues, and sews, redesigning thousands of garments into something brand new.
Why is it important that they feel like they're not just getting a hand-me-down?
I want everybody, all the kids, their parents, whatever, to feel like they're getting the same thing that somebody went out and bought.
Then every fall, Wagoner hosts events for kids to pick out costumes for free. While he's been doing this for 9 years, he says turnout has been the biggest ever this season.
There's a lot of people getting their jobs taken away from them. Everything is going up in price.
The cost of costumes can be scary for some right now, due to the tariffs on most goods from China.
What do you say to people who think, it's just a Halloween costume. There are much more important things in this economy, putting food on the table, shelter.
Everybody should deserve a chance to be a kid.
And every year, his own kindness is paid forward. Families who've gotten costumes from him return and donate.
The very first one, I had a kid, probably 6 years old, come up to me with a costume and said, "My mommy said I could give this to you because I can't wear it. Maybe somebody else can."
Halloween is still 2 weeks away, but some kids got the chance to celebrate it early. The annual Pumpkin Palooza returned to Ottawa Park this afternoon. Around 2,500 people came out and enjoyed free horse rides, games, and of course, lots of candy. Officials estimate that attendance has doubled since last year.
I think people are getting more familiar with City of Toledo Parks and Youth Services events, and they're really becoming more part of the community, and they know that these spaces are for them and they feel more welcomed in them.
The next big event for Toledo's Parks and Youth Services will be the annual tree lighting in Promenade Park on November 21st. Michigan football bounced back in a big way, beating Washington 24-7 today at the Big House. The Wolverines' defense stepped up, grabbing 3 interceptions and holding the Huskies to just 40 rushing yards. Coach Sharon Moore said it finally felt like Michigan football again. Both teams head into tough matchups next weekend. Michigan faces rival Michigan State, while Washington hosts Illinois. Meanwhile, Ohio State football is currently in Wisconsin leading the Badgers. We'll have more from both of these games, as well as Toledo and BGSU football tonight at 11. Stick around until then. Want to see more breakdowns of viral trends and 60-second stories? Check out our WTOL 11 social media pages on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. Let's get things over to John with a full look at that upcoming storm. John?
Big changes in the weather coming our way. After a record high temperature today, we are going to usher in a strong fall cold front. That's going to bring us wet and windy conditions. First and foremost, we're going to feel the rain. That's going to be moving in late this evening and overnight tonight, and it's going to be continuing Sunday for much of the day. So you want the umbrella handy all day long tomorrow. We're expecting rainfall amounts around 1 inch, and that'll be our heaviest rain of the fall season for many areas. Also, the winds are really going to pick up, and I'd recommend bringing inside those Halloween inflatable decorations with 45-mile-an-hour gusts possible as this strong cold front moves through. Now, Doppler radar is quiet right now. Most of the activity has been north and west of us, north of Detroit up towards the Thumb. There's some heavier thunderstorms, and back towards South Bend and Kalamazoo, some rain and thunder. Nothing strong or severe, although there could be a little bit of lightning and thunder, which is something we really haven't heard in quite some time. Looking at these storm cells running just along the Ohio Turnpike back into northern Indiana and also into western lower Michigan. We're starting to see some pockets of torrential rainfall as well as lightning and thunder. These are expected to just creep into our northwestern counties later this evening. Also between Indianapolis and Muncie, some non-severe thunderstorms. They are generally weakening in nature, but they're still going to bring us some much needed rainfall for the ongoing drought conditions. So we're watching both of these clusters of rain and how they could impact us later on this evening. The bigger picture, the clouds have started to creep on in. Again, the showers and storms, they're coming from the west and southwest as a strong cold front pushes through the area. That front is draped just to the northwest of us, right along Lake Michigan and back towards about St. Louis. So a number of states are getting some needed rainfall out of this system. Going to be staying warm this evening. We officially hit a record high temperature for today. The hour by hour does show a few of those clusters of showers, just barely glancing the northwestern tier of our counties. So again, many areas will stay dry through about sunset, but there could be some isolated thunder showers later this evening. It's really after midnight that we're expecting the widespread rain to move on through and continuing through about daybreak Sunday morning. The winds are going to ramp up Sunday morning as this line of showers pushes on through, and 45-mile-an-hour gusts are going to be possible. By Sunday afternoon, the heaviest rain is going to be exiting, although it is going to stay windy, and there's going to be some periodic drizzle and some light damp rain showers continuing throughout the day. We're expecting rainfall totals around 1 inch. There could be isolated higher amounts in any of those heavier thunderstorms. Now, tomorrow's forecast is going to be a big day of change. We're going to be down to the 60s, and those high temperatures are actually going to happen in the morning, meaning it's going to be getting colder throughout the day. We're going to be dropping to the 50s into the afternoon, a very wet and windy feel with winds that'll be starting in the south and shifting to the west. That shift in wind direction, a sign of that cold front moving on through. Now, temperatures going to be a big difference tomorrow. We officially hit 84 today, and that Saturday high temperature at Toledo Express shatters the previous record. The old record of 83 was shared between October 18th of 1950 and 1910. So it has been 75 years since we hit a record high temperature, and we beat the record out today. Rainfall going to come as good news, especially for areas in the extreme drought shown in that red color. Much of the Maumee River Basin is under that extreme drought, essentially stretching from Lucas County down to Hancock County and even up into the lakeshore. Some of the latest data has shown that that drought is continuing to grow due to the absence of rainfall. So weather impacts